Brodes Media.
The 2-12 Sixers. Every time we do this, the 2-12. It was the 2-10. It was the 2-11. This team sucks so much so that the Sixers have to start over. They have to start over. And yes, I'm aware of contractually how this goes with Embiid, with when he signed an extension and all that stuff. I'm talking for us right now as a fan base. It is time to apply pressure to stop this garbage of the Joel Embiid experience whenever they get the opportunity to send him to a different town. It is time to have that discussion because they are terrible. And when your basketball team, when they have a team meeting and the next chance they touch the floor, they are down by essentially 20 points to a shorthanded Memphis team without Ja Morant, Marcus Smart, and key contributors, wrap it up. Tie a fucking bow on that thing and toss it right in the trash. It should have been the complete opposite. You need to make a statement and win by 20 plus. So then maybe there's something to hold on to. Maybe there's a reason to be optimistic that could have turned the season around, those important conversations that happened inside the locker room. Instead, embarrassing. And while Embiid did have a fine day statistically, post-game, we got, woe is me, I'm the victim, Joel Embiid. If it continues to follow you, Joel, and you think it's just random and it's just happening naturally, you're silly. There's reasons why you are getting picked apart. There's reasons why you are getting a lot of the blame. And until you self-assess, nothing's ever going to change. And if you don't know what I'm referencing, after the game ended in Memphis, he said, it's whatever. I'll take it all. I'm the reason for everything. So I'll take the blame for everything. Once again, Embiid doesn't get it. It's not landing. It's not getting through that thick skull. And that also implies that why are you coming after me? Did you see my teammates? Why is it always me? And who he's talking to there? It's the fans. It's the fans. There is a real toxic relationship happening right now between Embiid and the city. And I don't think it's fixable. When he returns to the Wells Fargo Center, I am fascinated to hear the reception. This franchise needs to admit that they cannot continue to squeeze the juice out of this lemon because you're not getting any juice. Paul George gets re-injured. Now they're going to have to assess that. You know, last time he went down with something like this, it took 3 weeks. And then there was a minute restriction. And then he didn't play the back-to-back against Cleveland. So if we're talking another month, this was Daryl Morey's plan. There were certain decisions made last season with the idea of a bunch of flexibility, if you will, specifically with that Tobias Harris deal coming off the books. This was supposed to be an incredible attempt to push forward. This is what they were waiting for. This run, this opportunity, this team. They're 2-12. We can keep saying 2-12, but until you sit here and really absorb what I'm saying, They're 2-12. 2-12. They're winless with Embiid. And for as great as he played, what happened late? What's Joel Embiid's biggest knock? Turning over the basketball. And I don't want to hear for a second that it's not really his fault because he doesn't have the continuity with his new teammates. It's always something. He also looked tired. So he looked tired. He doesn't have continuity. Enough's enough. Sometimes we got to stop making excuses and we got to face reality. The Joel Embiid experiment did not work. And what I'm not going to do is act like they should have done this 5 years ago. I mean, I took a billion phone calls about fans who wanted him gone 6 seasons ago. Hey, God bless you. You're significantly smarter than I'll ever be. I could live with the Joel Embiid that we used to get. This is a new phase. For you WWE fans, we got a heel turn. Joel Embiid is now playing a massive villain card. But for majority of the Embiid tenure, I could support, hear me out, what I was getting in this way. Maybe by the end of it, we wouldn't have won a championship because there's something missing in Joel Embiid, clutch, injuries, whatever it was, right? But honestly, I could put my head down on my pillow every night if I got Joel Embiid maximizing his body and what it was capable of doing, putting in effort, putting in time, putting in hard work. If we could get the Embiid that was inspired to play with fire, with passion, with the want, with the will, and there was a time we had that. I don't see it now. Now it's entitled. Now it's frustrated. Now it's, I don't give a damn about you. That's sort of the vibe we're getting now. And nobody knew 5-6 years ago that he was just straight up not showing up on time. And maybe that wasn't happening early, but then there was a transition when it would become the norm once he felt entitled and once the Sixers allowed for him to run the asylum. At some point, I'd have to imagine there was a switch in place. This wasn't happening in Kansas with Bill Self, even through his injuries. I can't imagine that's the case. So if I got an Embiid that just gave me what he had, and laid it all out there and put in the time and effort and everything, I would be willing to go down with the Joel Embiid ship. And if ultimately it wasn't enough, then so be it. But I can at least respect it. I don't respect it anymore. And that's probably the biggest knock you can take as a person in any walk of life. Once you lose respect from your peers, it's all over. And I was actually listening to Devon Givens on PHLY break this thing down. And he said he was talking to someone close to the situation. I'm paraphrasing, but man, people don't like Embiid. These were some pretty harsh words and pretty harsh reality of the NBA circle and the lack of respect. And Devon's not the one to just throw around nonsense and to look for certain clickbait stuff. I mean, he's good people with a good logical mind, okay? If you're getting information like that from him, it means a lot. And I almost had to do a quadruple take, like, what? Which plays a role into this whole what's being pushed agenda nationally. Pat Beverly spoke about Joel. Lou Will spoke about Joel. And a few things here. Lou Will is saying it was overblown. This is typical damage control. He started off his little spiel by saying, I so happened to be on the phone with some of the Sixers after that meeting. What do you mean you so happened? Oh, what? Hey, I bumped into him at a coffee shop. Hey, I just happened to be walking my dog on 24th and Market, and we bumped into each other on the sidewalk. No! It was leaked. Shams reported it. The following day, the former NBA player is taking the NBA player side of it. It wasn't overblown. Tyrese Maxey, as a 24-year-old, had to tell the franchise player, forget the tone, forget how long it took, 30 seconds, 30 minutes, 30 hours. It doesn't matter. Good tune, by the way. Kanye West, fantastic. But anyway, The Life of Pablo, great album. It doesn't matter how long the message took to deliver. The reality is the fact that you ever needed to be told is enough to sound the alarms. It wasn't overblown. Tyrese Maxey had to tell the franchise to show up. And we go as you go, as if that was an unknown, as if that never registered in his own head. Lou Will was playing the side for Embiid. That's what happened. Now, Embiid thinks whoever leaked it is a, quote, real piece of shit. Joel, look around. Do you know who leaked it? The Sixers. Do you know why the Sixers leaked it? Because it wasn't getting through. And they felt the need to go public with it because you weren't having the professional response that they were looking for.